Collage, the London Picture Archive, is an online image database containing over 250,000 images from the collections of Guildhall Art Gallery and London Metropolitan Archives. In this introduction to the database, I will concentrate my searches on London Metropolitan Archives collections, but you will be able to explore both collections at your leisure. I would like to start by looking at some of the features of collage, show you how to search for images of a London where your ancestors may have lived or worked, and then move on to look at some of the vast collection of material available. So, getting started. The best place to start is the home page, with its main search box at the top and features continuing down the page. One way to begin is to explore the galleries by clicking on the link under the main search box. These are curated sets of images which usually focus on a subject or theme. Another option is to look at collections, again by clicking on the link under the main search box. This can be useful if, for example, you are interested in some of the short film clips or folded maps collection. However, if you have something specific you are looking for, the search box at the top of the screen is the easiest place to begin. As an example, if you type Sheffield Terrace and click search, your search results are arranged on a screen of thumbnails. If you then click on the first thumbnail, you are presented with a screen containing a larger image and a box in the top right corner, which will enable you to enlarge the image still further. Further down the page, you have information about the image, and on the right side, buttons with further options if you want to purchase or license a copy, for example. We will be returning to these later. The Sheffield Terrace search has given you images from the 1970s, both exterior photographs and also photographs of interiors. A really good way of discovering an area is to use the London picture map towards the bottom of the home page. Click on the map and allow it to load. This can take a few seconds depending upon your browser. The area I have chosen to look at is Woolwich, so I either drag the screen until I find Woolwich on the map or type Woolwich into the search box at the top of the map. The map will present you with a number of coloured pins indicating the number of images tagged to that spot. If you click on the orange pin with number 11 above Woolwich Arsenal, you are presented with the images and descriptions to scroll through. This image of the Royal Foundry from 1779 is the first example. The green number 4 pin above the W of Woolwich Arsenal shows shop fronts in Thomas Street in 1959. The street is very quiet, and the photographs were presumably taken early in the morning due to the milk bottles on the doorstep to Farley's. Returning to the map once more, if you click on the red pin, you see an image of Parry Street in 1938. These images have given a picture of the area, the Royal Arsenal, shops and an example of some of the housing, and there are plenty more pins to be explored. We are geotagging and adding to the London picture map regularly, so it is worth checking back from time to time to see if anything further has been added for the area in which you are interested. Another way of exploring streets is to type the name of the street into the search box. Here we see some examples of some London streets, starting with the Old Kent Road about 1830, and then Brixton, very precisely dated 5th of July 1834. Then we move east to Commercial Street in 1867, and then look at the area outside Waterloo Station in 1878. And finally, we see the High Street, Camden Town in 1888. The advanced search option is a more focused way of searching the site. If you click on Select a subject, you are presented with a number of options, and I have highlighted a couple. If you click on one of the options in the third column and click search at the bottom of the page, you are taken to a page of thumbnails which you can navigate, as we looked at before. You can also refine your search at this point by restricting the searching on dates, for example. So having looked at places and streets, I would now like to highlight some of the many images we have for housing. While you can search, as we have seen, by street name, we have many images of housing estates, including those established by the London County Council. So this first estate is the Boundary Estate, which dates from the 1890s. Then we move to Arnold Circus, which is at the centre of the estate, again at the same date, and is where the bandstand now stands. Then we have a couple of interiors, the first from 1959 and the second dating from 1961. Then we move on to White Hart Lane Estate in 1911, Shops on the Old Oak Estate in 1922, then moving forward 40 years or so, we look at Highbury Quadrant Estate in 1961, and the shops on the estate dating from 1957. The final example is Alton Estate in the 1960s. With an interior image from 1958. These images, I hope, give a flavour of the housing in the capital. Moving on to Working London. If you're interested in people working in the trades they may have undertaken, the database has a number of images. Some of the earliest are the Cries of London, which date from the late 17th century into the 19th century. Here we have an onion seller from about 1688 and a mackerel seller from about 1870. The Thames was the main thoroughfare through London for centuries, and we have a number of images which reflect that. Here is a steam tug moving through barges circa 1905. This image of West India Docks dates from 1802. Moving into the 20th century, this is the entrance to St Catherine Dock, about 1925. There are images of tunnels and bridges, and here we see the construction of Rotherhithe Tunnel in 1907. And another image at the same date. We move on to pottery making at Chelsea in 1924. And silk weaving, not perhaps as you would expect in Spitalfields, but at Alma Road, Bethnal Green in 1909. And here are a couple of images of Billingsgate Market, the first from 1918 and the second from 1973. Finally, in terms of images, the London Life postcards dating from about 1910 to 1918 capture working people in the early 20th century. If you type London Life into the main search box, you will see a number of these. Here is a toy seller. I would like to end with a few words about some of the other features on the right-hand side of the page. Here you have options to print low-resolution reference copies, purchase digital copies, high-quality prints, or request a license. You can also make use of the Favourites feature by adding individual images to your Favourites folder, which you access via the button right at the top of the page, and from where you can email yourself a PDF or print a copy of your collected group. You should note that you cannot save your Favourites folder, so you must either print or email yourself a copy before ending your search session. hope this has given you a few ideas about how to use Collage the London Picture Archive and the wealth of resources available. You can visit our web pages to find out more about London Metropolitan Archives, search Collage the London Picture Archive and our collections catalogue online. If you have any questions, please contact us via our email address ask.lma@cityoflondon.gov.uk.